I never intended to stand out on the royal station of Asterion 5. Humans rarely did. We were newcomers to the Galactic Council. Fragile, slow, short-lived compared to almost every species that walked the starlit halls. So the last thing I expected was for a princess, their princess, to notice me at all. But that day everything changed. Beginning, the lonely observer. I arrived early inside the Celestial Hall, a cathedral-sized chamber suspended between two stars whose light filtered through transparent shielding. The council was hosting a cultural convocation, a diplomatic festivity meant to unite species through art, conversation, and shared harmony. In reality, it was an intergalactic talent show for political elites. Delegates from 87 worlds laughed, mingled, and displayed their planetary traditions. Everywhere I looked there were shimmering exosuits, floating ornaments, bioluminescent skin patterns, and scents from alien flora drifting through the air. And there was me, Elias Mercer, human observer, standing alone with a glass of sparkling blue something that tasted like mint and electricity. Every seat in the hall was claimed by groups, pairs, and entourages. Humans were still rare here, and the other species didn't quite know what to make of us. Too emotional, too short-lived, too unpredictable. Those were the whispers I overheard when they thought I couldn't understand their languages. So I found a quiet corner like I always did. Just watching. Just invisible. That's when she looked at me. Princess Eris Valira of House Solari, heir to a 1,000-year dynasty, rumored telepath, and the face of 100 planetary treaties. Every species in the hall seemed to revolve around her, as if she were a star pulling everything into orbit. Tall, graceful, with luminous silver-blue skin and hair like strands of starlight, she sat at the high table reserved for royalty and sovereign delegates. Dozens of important beings surrounded her. Yet her gaze cut through all of them, straight to me. Her eyes narrowed, shining like twin fragments of nebulae. Not in judgment, not in confusion, but curiosity, then interest, then something else entirely. I pretended not to notice. I even turned my eyes away, staring intently at my glass as if its bubbles contained the secrets of the universe. But the feeling didn't go away. She was still watching me. The middle her claim. Moments later, movement broke through the noise of the hall. Whispers. Heads turning. The princess stood up. No, she stepped down from the dais. Her royal guard stiffened, unsure whether to stop her or follow. She didn't give them a chance to decide. Eris walked across the chamber with silent, deliberate steps, her long ceremonial cape trailing like liquid starlight. Heard me. My stomach dropped. "This is how humans die," I muttered under my breath, accidentally breaking a 1,000-year-old alien custom. When she reached me, the room fell silent. Delegates froze. Conversations halted. Even the holodrones lowered themselves, curious. Princess Eris stopped less than a meter from me. Her voice was warm, melodic, yet carried a subtle force that felt like gravity. "You are sitting alone, human," she said. I swallowed. "Standing, technically." Her lips curved, not quite a smile, but a tug of amusement. "And why?" "I didn't want to take someone else's seat." Her silver-blue brows arched. "Humans," she whispered softly, "always afraid to take space." I opened my mouth to respond, but she reached forward, smoothly without hesitation, and took my wrist in her cool, soft fingers. An electric jolt shot through me. Half the room gasped. The other half stared like I'd been chosen for ritual sacrifice. "You will sit," she declared. Her voice grew firmer, commanding without shouting. "Beside me." What princess that's not?" She didn't let me finish. Her grip tightened, not painfully but absolutely. And she turned, pulling me through the crowd. Her royal guards scrambled to follow. Delegates moved aside instantly, some bowing, others whispering, "Why him? Who is he? What does this mean?" My heart pounded louder than the ambient orchestral music. "What are you doing?" I whispered urgently. "Correcting an imbalance," she replied. "No one should sit alone in my hall." "That doesn't mean." She looked back at me with eyes that glimmered like galaxies. "It means exactly what I choose it to." When we reached the dais, she gestured, and everyone occupying the seats beside her silently stood and moved away. She guided me into the chair next to her. Her seat, from what I could tell, and only then let go of my wrist. The warmth lingered. Her guards stared at me as if waiting for a prophesied comet to strike. She leaned slightly toward me, her voice low so only I could hear. "You belong here more than you think." The conversations, and the heavy truth. As performers danced, sang, or projected holographic memories onto the air, Eris kept her attention mostly on me. "Earth is young," she said. "Chaotic, and tame. But your species. You feel everything intensely. You burn fast, but you burn bright. And blink. You've studied us." "Studied," she repeated with a soft laugh. "No. Have watched, observed, and hoped." "Hoped for what?" "You are not like the others," she said plainly. "You do not seek my attention. You do not crowd or flatter or posture." Her eyes softened. "You simply look for a place to belong." And then she looked directly into me. Not past me, not at me. Into me. It felt as though she saw every moment of my life at once. Despite myself, I whispered, "And what if I don't belong here?" Her answer was immediate. "You do. I have decided it." My heart skipped. Royal declarations weren't casual. Her words carried political weight, cultural implications, and possibly even ritual meaning. "Princess," I whispered carefully, "people are staring. Let them." Her tone was cool but firm. "Their eyes do not decide my choices." This woman had entire galaxies competing for her attention, but she sat close enough that her shoulder brushed mine whenever she moved. And every time it did, I felt heat spreading through me. I didn't know what was happening, or why she chose me, but I wasn't brave enough to ask. Not yet. The turn. Danger in the hall. The evening's calm broke suddenly. A holographic performance was underway when a sharp, resonant crack echoed through the celestial hall. The air trembled. Light flickered. Delegates shouted. A shockwave pulsed outward. The alarm sounded. Deep, thunderous, ancient. Intrusion detected. Eris stood instantly, placing herself slightly in front of me. Guards formed a perimeter. "What is happening?" I asked. Her jaw clenched. "Someone is testing our defenses. Or attempting to abduct a delegate." Her eyes sharpened. "Or a royal." Before I could respond, a masked intruder flickered into view, teleportation shimmer rippling around them. A weapon aimed directly at Eris's heart. Everything froze. Without thinking, I lunged forward, grabbed the princess's arm, and pulled her down behind the table. The shot fired, missing her by centimeters and shattering a crystalline ornament. Guards swarmed the attacker. Silence returned, broken only by Eris's breath near mine. She stared at me, not shocked, not afraid, but struck by something deeper. "You protected me. You pulled me into danger," I muttered breathlessly. "It felt fair." Her laugh was soft but trembling at the edges. "Humans," she whispered, "are astonishing." The end, her final words. After the intruder was neutralized and order restored, she didn't return to the center of the dais. She stayed beside me. Closer than before. You saved my life, Eris said quietly. I just reacted. Instinct, she replied, reveals truth more than intention. She lifted her hand, hovering it near mine, not touching but asking permission in her own way. And the truth is, her voice softened, becoming almost vulnerable. I was right to choose you. My breath caught. Choose me for what? For a seat, she said first. Then, with a slow exhale, perhaps more than a seat. The hall lights dimmed, ending the convocation. Delegates rose, and music faded. She didn't move. Her voice lowered to a near whisper. Elias Mercer, human observer. Will you return tomorrow? Will you sit beside me again? I hesitated, not from fear, but from the overwhelming reality of it all. Finally I nodded. Yes, if you still want me there. Her smile, gentle, luminous, felt like a sunrise on a silent world. I claimed that seat for you, she said softly. And unless you reject it, it will always be yours. And for the first time, I didn't feel alone in the galaxy.